Hey, I'm Wally Adamczyk, and welcome to Construction Leadership from A to Z, 26 words to lead by, and we're almost done, but not quite. Today, the letter Y as we talk about yield. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Kenny Rogers in The Gambler. Yield, to give way to influence, entreaty, or argument. Cease resisting. The opposite might be stand fast, opposite or unyielding. Rogers goes on to explain in the song, every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. As a leader, you face challenges every day. Some are easily overcome, others not so easily. The art, as noted by Kenny Rogers, is in knowing the difference. Not knowing can deliver a Pyrrhic victory. That's a win technically, but at devastating cost. In fact, the triumph sets the victor back so far that it may well erase any hope of future success. The phrase is named after King Pyrrhus of Epirus, whose army suffered irreplaceable casualties while defeating the Romans in the Pyrrhic War 280 to 279 BC. After the final battle, the king is said to have remarked that one more such victory would utterly undo him. Clearly, there are some causes worth fighting for, but there are many worth not fighting for. In Henry IV, Falstaff tells us the better part of valor is discretion, in which better part I have saved my life. Certainly, I am not endorsing cowardice here. Simply, as my friend Grady says, if they ping, I don't have to pong, and neither do you. Many a career has been ruined on so-called principle. I have found that when people say things like, I don't care about the money, title, promotion, it's the principle of the thing, it's not the principle at all. Now, ethics and integrity are important, and we should uphold and abide by them. We should not, however, hide behind them. As Stanley Baldwin, three-time Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, wrote, I would rather be an opportunist and float than go to the bottom with my principles around my neck. In June 2009, Timberland CEO Jeff Swartz was bombarded with emails from activists concerned about the deforestation of Brazilian forests. Much of the land gets converted to pasture for cattle. Some of those hides in turn become shoe leather for Timberland. Greenpeace was demanding that something be done. The easy solution would have been for Swartz to get out of Brazil. Only 7% of their leather even came from there. But he was also angry. The company was committed to the environment. It had planted 1 million trees in China. This campaign wasn't really fair considering his firm's record. He could have gone on the offensive and rebutted the claims. Instead, he yielded to reason and considered the facts of the claims made by Greenpeace, and he found they had some merit. So he proceeded to explore some possibilities. From positive engagement with those who emailed him to closer cooperation with suppliers and Brazilian authorities, Timberland earned praise from Greenpeace for its response. There are other things you don't have to do just because. You don't have to come up with the best idea. You don't always have to be the one with the plan, the solution. While you may have a very good plan or idea in mind, it may serve your company's needs better to run with someone else's. Why not use the idea from one of your people if the outcome is likely to be similar? Certainly there are times your plan will clearly be the better option, but not always. Not using your people's plan, it tells them you don't think they're capable. Further, it says you don't trust them. Talk about demotivating. Then, sometimes you simply have to get out of the way. Your presence may be appreciated, but there may not be much value that you can add. General James Conway, United States Marine Corps, traveled to Afghanistan about every 4 months during his time as commandant. While his presence surely motivated the troops, it also distracted them. And he learned during his command time in Iraq that visiting too often was a burden. Better to simply stay out of the way and yield to the folks on the battle line. Sometimes you may not be the best person for the job. This is not to say you can't do the job and do it well. There just may be people out there who can do it better. This is true at Firestarter. I love speaking to groups. Speeches and training are my passions. Can you tell? Coaching? Not as much. I do it and I do it well, but given the choice, I'd give a speech. Steve Brooks is our lead executive coach. He is truly gifted in this area of developing people, and he's incredibly effective. Couple his excellence with my preferences, and I'm happy to yield to him on many matters related to coaching. Together, we make a great team. Were I not to yield, that might not be the case. Certainly, our clients would not be getting maximum value. We lost the American colonies because we lacked the statesmanship to know the right time and the manner of yielding what is impossible to keep. Queen Elizabeth II. All right, let's jumpstart your yielding concepts. Recognize you don't have to win every battle. Some simply don't need to be fought. Ask yourself if that fight you just had was worth giving a piece of your life to. Delegate. And while you're at it, reread The 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey. Choose to be happy or right. And also read The Lost Art of Effective Listening. All right, let's look at what yield in action looks like at Berg Hammer Construction Company. It's a commercial general contractor in southeast Wisconsin, and the firm has enjoyed and planned progressive growth and one of the top GCs in the area. And former President Leif Nesheim has guided that successful growth. And I once asked him, did you yield as a leader? His answer was quick but firm. Yield, yes. Not the easiest thing to do, but yes, many times. He went on to explain his perspective. One of my primary jobs as a leader at Berg Hammer is to grow our people into leaders. Certainly coaching and mentoring is one method. However, letting my people learn through experience is another. There are times I wanted to jump in and I knew full well the desired outcome I was looking for. I stood aside. I also know that if team members are going to learn, they benefit most from the hands-on experience. One time, well after a positive resolution, one of our execs asked me if I would have stepped in along the way. His phrase was something like, would I have let the ship hit the rocks? Of course not. As the captain, I know where the rocks are and I would intervene. I think all good leaders do, but I think also all great leaders will let the ship get close to the rocks and let the crew steer the ship clear, if able. The ultimate payoff in stepping aside is the increasing capacity of our leadership team. All right, let's do some A to Z application on this concept of yielding. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate on this trait? Do you have a hard time giving way? Why or why not? List someone you know who exemplifies this trait, and why did you write them down? Have you ever fought for something on principle? And what one thing will you do to improve in this area? Well, there you have it. The concept of yield and yielding from construction leadership from A to Z, 26 words to lead by. I hope that you will subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Wally Adamczyk, and don't forget to check out constructionleadership.com.